Warning, this show contains adult content. Welcome to another edition of Up and In. I'm your host, Adrian Babashoff, and if you're new here, welcome as well. And if you're wondering what the show is about, it's entirely dedicated to improving quality of life for both people and planet through liberation and independence, moving you from surviving to thriving and living life on your own terms. Well, good day, my friends and family out there. Today's episode 270, and this one comes from the heart. It comes from my personal experience of what I need to do in life. One of the most simplest things that we have, that we can do to improve quality of life, to make things go a lot smoother, make more money, have better health, have better understanding, happiness. The road to happiness is to slow the F down. Did I just say F? What the fuck is the matter with me? Oh my God. Yeah, no, guys, seriously, we need to slow it the fuck down. So I'm in the midst right now of getting off my mini retirement. For those of you who don't know, I usually take off like 3-4 months out of the year, and it's September for me right now while I'm recording this show. And usually right around the end of September is when I need to get back to work. Well, I farted off. I had a great time. Took lots of naps, which I miss. And now it's starting to gear up to the time where it's like, all right, time to go holla for the dollar, you know, and there's a lot of improvements every year when I slow the F down. I got to stop saying F. When I slow it down, I start to look around me, you know, while I was sitting in my little tiny house environment, I started noticing a lot of clutter and things that were just like bothering me. It's because I slowed down. I had the time to kind of look and say, you know, I want to make some adjustments. I want to make some changes. And slowing down by taking off and camping for like a month really opened up my eyes this year. That's really my take home from doing these type of things. I've been doing this for the past, I think, 6 years now, maybe 7. And as far as going off on vacation, and when you do that, everything slows down. You only need to do what's necessary. You have food, you have water, you have shelter, you know, and you just wake up in the morning, it's like, this is your time off. And it takes a long time for that to sink in, for you to shed off all the stress and anxiety and I've got to be here, I got to go there. You don't got to do nothing but enjoy the scenery, enjoy yourself, and relax. And when it goes beyond a week, which is like what most people, the average person takes, I think some people are allowed 2 weeks a year, but I think they break that up. But yeah, once you get to like day 10 or something, all that shit just naturally starts to slough off. But when you get back into it, I think, you know, when you're always in the hustle, you don't know what it's like to be calmed down. You're used to it, right? It's like an oubliette, prison with walls of air, you know? There's nothing holding you back. You don't really realize it. You become accustomed. There was a movie with Anthony Hopkins and Gooding Jr., where they had I think it's called Instinct, where they had a gorilla in the cage, and it was raised in the zoo its entire life, and the zookeeper went and opened up the cage it was sitting in. It was just like a little, 10 by 8 foot cage, and they were talking, and he's like, well, "Do you want to close that door in case the monkey, the gorilla escapes?" And he was like, "Oh, don't worry about him. It's comfortable for him. He doesn't want to get out of that cage." So I don't want to beat that up. Coronavirus. What we come accustomed to, in contrast to when we get away from it, is just amazing. And what's got me now is that I'm getting back in the hustle of things, and that's the inspiration for today's show, is that I'm running at everything. Literally running. Like charging, or like, let's go make money. We got to get some jobs sold. We got to get all this stuff in order, and there's so much we should too. Really, I'm not saying lay around and do nothing, but it's when we start speeding things up that it becomes unhealthy. And I think I see that in our society and in our lives and in my own life way too much. So I have a couple of notes here, but I just kind of wanted to talk off the top of the head of why, the power of slowing things down and why it's so significant and so important. And like the very first one I noticed is I started driving a lot. I'm back in town, so I'm doing grocery shopping and things like that. And I saw a truck with a trailer yesterday, just like a RV trailer, a camping trailer. And this thing wasn't even a pickup truck, let alone if a pickup truck was doing this, I'd say, oh my fucking God. But it was just like a small little, Nissan, whatever, little four-door car, like a Toyota 4Runner, and it's hauling this big-ass, 18-foot lightweight trailer, and they're driving 75 miles an hour on the freeway. And they passed by me, and I was just looking, going, oh, my God. The thing wasn't shaking, getting speed wobbles or nothing, but how dangerous. And I also had, before I left on my vacation, one of my last jobs, I was driving down a windy road, and this lady was on her cell phone. She literally, at a turn, completely missed the road, looking at her cell phone, and almost came head on into me. And that's when I just said, we need to slow shit down for ourselves. But we also need to slow stuff down, for our own personal safety, watching others. The other people who are frantically and just insanely running at everything are very dangerous people. So you got kids in the car, yourself. I mean, it's just a horrible thing. So by slowing down, I mean, some of the thoughts I had here was the accidents. I think if a lot of people aren't aware of this, statistically, they say most accidents happen within a few miles from people's homes. They start getting eager to get home, I guess, or something. It's something strange. Maybe they let their guard down. It's also fight or flight. When you're driving, this whole show's not about driving, by the way. But when you're driving, there's a fight or flight. Like, there's so many moving parts, right? Like, that trailer goes by. I'm like, I grip my steering wheel. Okay, let's slow down, let this thing pass up. You're in constant danger. So your senses and everything's really heightened from what they say. So, yeah, the accidents and things like that. I mean, who wants to get in a car accident? Who wants to die? I mean, that's dangerous. You can maim yourself for life. And if we're going to slow life down, what are some of the benefits, especially in driving, is you get better gas mileage. I don't think a lot of people are aware that driving like 55 miles an hour, even though you can go 65, 70, whatever, you get way better MPG. If you drove slower, which is a pain in the ass, but you also get to see stuff. I live out in Sunnyside, California, in San Diego County, North County, by the way. That's out of the big city. And it's in the country, and usually, for me to go just to any grocery store, it's at least about a 20-minute drive. So, but there's hills around me. And every once in a while, we have wild California poppies and stuff popping up. And right now, the cactus apples are in bloom. And, I noticed the gold ones are the best flavored cactus apples for wild survival food, or even just for food. Gave them to my mom. And she ate a couple. I think the red ones, she ate too many. I think she ate like 3 or 4, and she ended up shitting herself. Well, she didn't shit herself. She had to run to the toilet. So beware of cactus apples, But, yeah, you get to see things. You get to notice things. And like some of the fucking trash on the side of the fucking freeway. A lot of trash on the side of the roads. But anyways, you get to see things. And I think a lot of people aren't aware, too. And this whole thing, what I'm talking about with the cars, kind of goes into life. Where on your car, you're unlike the human body, the car's made out of steel. It's made out of rubber gaskets and things like that. And it's got lots of compression and moving parts. Well, it's not like this car heals, right? It doesn't repair itself. Things wear out. They need to be replaced. When cars are driven, like this 1996 F-350 diesel truck that I'm sitting in right now recording my show, if I floor this thing and I take it up to 90, there's a lot of parts, that are going to get hurt. And basically, you have to be completely replaced. I think in our bodies, to finish up, I guess, I always do that. I finish up, you're actually got less wear and tear on your vehicle. When you're hugging turns and stuff at, 70 miles an hour, there's a lot of pressure on your tires and things like that. So you basically can save money. And this goes with your home, with all kinds of different things. Machineries that you're using for your work. The slower we go, the more... I think the more quality is what comes forth as a product of us slowing down. When we're in a hurry, I don't think we get a lot of things done with quality. A lot of same thing. I would say on job sites. When we're running, especially my job is very dangerous. My main component of money is roofing construction, and I don't know how many times, guys, I've been faced with my own death, like just this quick little accident. I'll give you guys an example. My tool belt. I got one of those framer hammers, a big one, because we were doing sheeting and stuff, and it sits right behind your ass, and if you're not careful, it'll keep whacking your balls all day. No, but I was on the edge of the roof, and I went to bend over. Well, this thing happened to hit me like a stilt, I guess you would say, or like a a leg, like a prosthetic leg. When I went to sit down, my body weight was ready to go down, but the hammer jabbed me in the ass and actually lunged me forward. And I was standing there like a baby bird, flapping my arms, trying not to fall off the edge of the roof, even though we use safety precautions. It's a very scary thing. Another time where you look and go, maybe I should fucking check myself, So a lot of people get hurt. A big quality of jobs, aren't very well. I like to say I saw a trailer. I was researching how travel trailers were built so I could find out what's the good ones to buy. I recommend that anybody who wants to tiny live, simplify and slow down their life, they should consider doing a full-time RV living, stationary RV living and things like that. But anywho, I went to check it out, and the Jayco commercial was insane. They were just throwing sheets of plywood and running these things on a conveyor belt, and this guy's got like the staple gun. He's stapling the floor, and he's just going and just running. And they were just the guys talking. You can see everybody's just on this high fucking intense energy. This is how we get stuff done and how we can compete with prices and get the next one. Like everyone was smoking methamphetamine or something. And I know for a fact when we do sheeting, as I just said, on roofing and stuff, you start firing those nails so fast, you're missing a couple every once in a while. Guess what's going to happen? Those nails are going to pop up, either through the flooring, through the roofing, through the wall. This is not good stuff. You want to make sure everything's nice and square. You fire a shot, the nail goes in, you can feel it nice and solid, and it makes that sound. Move on to the next one, right? So the speed, man, the speed kills. But going back to the wear and tear on your body, that's what I look at as human body could heal up. But I think sometimes when we tear it, I experience this myself. My blood pressure goes up, I get in that mode. All right, let's start selling, your energy level's just firing. You're on high octane. I haven't drinking coffee in over 10 years, I think, but I remember it would just start going. And I observe other people like this. You go to their job site or something first thing in the morning, there's so much going on, and the guy wants to hustle, and this is a lot of stress. This naturally makes your blood pump, your heart work harder. But yeah, there's a wear and tear on your bones and things like that, which I want to talk about. So yeah, the body can heal up, but I think it was Elon Musk was saying that he worked like 14, 16, 18-hour days, lived off of hot dogs and things like that to get where he's at. He busted his fucking ass, and he said, sometimes I don't know if it was worth it. Like, my body really felt that one. Like, he just, you're basically killing yourself. So, on the subject of health, one of the things I notice for myself when I do slow things down, and this one actually I have to give thanks to marijuana. I smoked me some weed, and I haven't done it in years, and I got really fucking high, just off a little tiny piece too, man. And I had to go pee. Right? And I had to go use the bathroom. So I went to go pee. I was high, so I was sitting down, right? Even though I'm a guy. And I'm sitting there, and I was just peeing really lightly. And I was like, geez, this is taking forever. And what I noticed is I was just super relaxed. I wasn't pushing my pee out. And that just opened up a strand. I'm a fucking weirdo, guys. Like, I can't have just a simple experience like a regular human being. Like, I see a butterfly land on the fucking plant, For instance, the other day I witnessed that the cabbage moths, there's these white moths that lay little larvae on your brassicas, on your cabbages and stuff, and they eat up your plants. Well, I noticed them hitting the flowers, and I was like, are they fucking pollinators too? The brain just starts going off, I'm fascinated by fucking water. Water holds memory. You can't compress it. It's fucking, science knows hardly anything about it, right? There's structurized water. There's heavy water. There's a lake underneath the ocean. That shit's fucking crazy. Anyways, you see how far things go. But today we're talking about a stupid fucking monkey citizen here who is pushing his piss out. So no, I looked at that and I said, wow. And it brought my attention. Every time I go to the urinal or something like that, I'm literally pushing my pee out. When I'm taking a shit, it's like Tom Hanks in Apollo 13, right? And that good-looking bitch, I don't know what her fucking name is. Looks like Liz Taylor. Beautiful fucking woman. God damn. But yeah, when I'm on the toilet, you might as well put stirrups, a fucking handlebar, stick a fucking a piece of leather in my teeth, and it's like, all right, push this thing out, man. Let's get this shit done. I need to make some fucking money. I ain't got time for this shit, literally. And I'm pushing instead of, why don't you just sit there and let nature, let gravity and stuff take its course. I know it's probably disgusting to hear that, but it's probably one of the most healthiest things that you can do for yourself, right? We have a lot of, for men, we have prostate problems and things like that. Maybe it's because of a muscle that you're just stretching, that you're pushing so fucking hard all the time, right? You're not letting it relax. I grew up on a farm. A horse will fucking literally, it'll stand proud on its 2 fucking front legs, open up its back legs. Sometimes you don't even do that, like the old ones. That's like kind of like what's happening to me. That's why I sat down on the toilet. Their dick comes out and they just piss. They just, and it just streams out, you know. It's not like a fucking water hose fucking, you know what I mean? One of those squiggly fucking things splashing around everywhere. It just gently comes out, right? And, I think a lot of these actions that seem disgusting and probably so simple are some of the most powerful, right? I think one of the big ones, you know, well, finish off hemorrhoids and stuff. I'm not going to make a big show about fucking pooping here, but, you know, hemorrhoids and things like that, anal bleeding, happened to me one time, and I was like, what? This can't be fucking normal. So I started, you know, and I don't give a shit what people think about. So I'm asking around, like, older people, like, you ever had blood, like, you know, when you're passing, you know? They're like, oh, yeah, all the time. I'm like, what the fuck? Really? That's not fucking normal, you know? So yeah, I mean, that's scary when you've got blood. I think a lot of it attributes to health. I think there's a lot of different foods and stuff you can probably supplement with things, but maybe old age, I don't fucking know. I'm getting damn close and I'm getting fucking scared of my bodily functions, especially losing control and bleeding, you know? You know, I'm weird that way. But the other thing that I saw and I seen and I have not practiced, that's why I chose the subject matter today, is fucking chew your food. If you want to improve your health and not bleed out of your butthole, you know, just chew your food. So I'm guilty of this as well, where when I'm eating, like, everything's at the street taco to me. Everything. If I drink a beer, it's like a street taco, you know? I'll savor it a little, but I'm just like, God damn, I want to eat this thing, you know? Sushi, same thing. I gobble it fucking down, man. And I'm like, I love it. I just close my eyes. I go to another world. But yeah, a lot of my food, I'm the type of guy who's so busy in his fucking head, who thinks he's so fucking smart and getting ahead here, that I'll do like 5-6 bites, right? I'll eat a fucking double cheeseburger in like probably like, I don't know, 4 minutes maybe, with the French fries, you know? And that's not good. I'm not bragging about that one bit. A lot of health people will tell you that you should chew your food like 30 times or something and take, you know, you don't fill your whole fucking, that's the other thing I do, guys. It looks like a great white just fucking bit the taco or the burger or burrito or whatever I'm fucking, you just, when I'm eating my fresh salads, you know, I might as well just fuck a fork, you know, just grab a pair of tongs and like just shove it down the hatch. You know, it's disgusting, I'd imagine. I haven't been in a relationship in over 4 or 5 years, so I think that might have something to do with it. I need a woman to fucking keep me in line maybe, or I don't fucking know. I'm rogue, guys. I'm like a fucking wild animal. But yeah, I'm definitely not proud of that. And I think that that's something we should definitely implement in our life, is just fucking chewing. Now, how do we, you know, I talk a lot about the philosophies and stuff on the show, mindset and stuff like that. And, you know, I've been trying to give a lot more exercises and things. I think a lot of people just help me, give me an exercise, dude. I don't want to hear about, I don't want to change my fucking mentals, even though it has everything to fucking do with it. Just give me a fucking exercise. Give me a Band-Aid, basically, right? I got a rock in my shoe. Give me an aspirin, is the way I look at it. We get our mental straight, then we get everything straight, and we start to create flow in our lives. But if I understand, you know, just like me, I have to remind myself, you know, on this note, though, before I go forward, one of the things I've done to give you guys ideas, I wrote down on my notes, like in the morning, I have notes on my phone, right? So in the morning, the very first thing, I put morning routine, is I take a Himalayan or sea salt, a little tiny rock, and I put it under my tongue. It's got vitamins, minerals. You know, if I do intermittent fasting, it's not hurting that. I also drink lemon water in the morning. But the very first thing I do is block breathing. Is just breathing exercises. But I also put on there on my notes to slow down, right? To remind yourself to slow down today. Read that every day. Say it 5 times to yourself like a mantra, you know, to help you remember, hey, when I drive to my job, I've actually learned to get behind diesel trucks, you know, that are going down the road. And they block the wind for me, so they're breaking up. You know, it's a wind pattern, so I get better MPG, but I'm cheap that way. But it forces me to slow down too. But one of the things that you can do to really slow down your life is breathing exercises. And I've talked about this before, but I'm sure we have some new listeners that are coming in. And the best one that I could explain to you is many. And according to Wim Hof, if you don't know who he is, the Iceman, it doesn't matter which hole it goes into. There's a lot of people know you got to fucking plug your left nostril, stand on one foot, stick your thumb up your ass, and then fucking breathe in through your nose. And, no, he's saying it's fine. I actually think so as well, especially if you got the mental straight. But one of the things you can do to go to sleep in the morning is the 4-8 method. It's called block breathing because for those of you watching right now, this on YouTube, you start off with a square, right? So you're going to start breathing in every 4 seconds. You're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 till you get to the end, right? And then you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. Breathe. Hold. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a horrible fucking instructor here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Start to breathe. 2, 3, 4. So 4 breaths in. Do it through your nose. Do it through your mouth. 8 out. So it's forcing you to prolong your breaths going out. And what's going to happen is this is kind of like a push and pull, kind of like a siphon. And no matter what you're doing, I wanted to mention this one today because I've been doing it for a long time. Helps with anxiety too. It literally takes the blood pressure down by a few points and will actually relax you, right? I've heard some interesting stuff from like some of my Army buddies and stuff and Marines where if you're in a bad situation, you actually pinch your thumb like 20 times, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever, and then let it go. And that's supposed to like reset you, There's some crazy techniques out there, but the breathing is one of the most simplest. So yeah, there's a 4-4. The reason why I said the block breathing too is pick something in your room that's square and focus on it, right? Get out of your mind. When my first child was born, I remember that's what I told my ex-wife, my wife at the time. I was like, I put a flower in a vase. I said, just trace the rose with your eyes, or look at that picture and just kind of count the corners. Just keep getting yourself out of your head, from the pain and anxiety, and just get yourself away. Well, I don't know about the pain, but just when you start feeling that anxiety, just get yourself out for a while. So that's the way to divert your attention, instead of fucking chicks on TikTok and puppy dog farts and stuff like that. So you can do the 4-4 as well. This is actually stimulating. This is actually a good one in the morning when you wake up. Breathe in, 4 breaths in, hold for 4, let out for 4, hold for 4, breathe in, and so forth and so forth. So breathing is probably one of the biggest things that we can do in life. And I noticed for myself, I might have a problem. My grandfather, I guess, used to get dizzy too, is we get so far into our head, into a thought. We don't need to be driving or anything. We're just kind of sitting around and listen to me spilling the fucking beans. Sorry, Grandpa, up there in fucking heaven. He's like, that's my private information, Though we think so hard that we start breathing very shallow. Everything slows down. We get so far, fucking cosmonauts, right? So far down into this that we forget to breathe. All of a sudden we start to feel dizzy. You're kind of like, whoa, And if you're not aware of it, I think a lot of people freak out. That's what I wonder, because it started happening to me until I was slowed shit down, was aware of it. So I got a couple more, just some notes here. I actually haven't even been really looking at that much. Excuse me, COVID. I get some water to wash this down. So my shoulder cuff, my shoulder muscles, my right one is pretty bad. And I went to the doctors and they wanted to shoot me with cortisone and all this kind of blah, 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 blah stuff. So they gave me exercises. And this is why, I'm against a lot. I'm not against education. I'm against public education. But here's why I'm against Western medicine. I've experienced this a lot in my life. Now, I'm not against them. Like, I get hit by a bus, go for it. But tell me the fucking problem, and then we'll figure some shit out. So over the phone, and it was COVID time. I finally addressed it, 2-3 years later, because I'm a man. You be a man. You hurt yourself, you don't do shit until it starts to really fucking hurt, until parts start falling off, right? Fucking dumbass. So I called them, and they did a phone thing with me, And the guy says, do a couple of these exercise things, push against the wall, whatever. And he gave me these exercises. Like, yeah, it's a rotator cuff tear, right? And he says, well, here's the exercise you need to do. So this whole COVID deal, I've been doing these exercises that has nothing to do with a torn shoulder muscle. Sure, it's not going to hurt, but this is the kind of shit that I look at. Like, it's the wrong exercise. For a year, I've been doing exercise where I could do different shit, right? I do have to say that some of the exercises that he showed me has helped, but more of the exercises that I've been doing and how I do them, right? So I finally went in to get an x-ray to find out I don't have a torn rotator cuff, and everything's stretched out. It's just the torn shoulder muscle, torn bicep, right, from doing a pull-up behind my fucking head a couple of years ago, and I thought I was a man. So what I've noticed, instead of getting cortisone shots and things like that, I started doing more resistance training. So the exercises that I learned from them, I just kind of intuitively, I'd like to say, by slowing life down, that's one of the things I've noticed is the very most powerful thing we have is our intuition. My intuition tells me to not do 30 reps of lifting my arms up with weights. That even hurts right now doing that. What I do is I do resistance. So I go for walks every morning. It's kind of hard when I get to my regular job, but I go for walks. Instead of just walking really fast, it's like a walk run, I lift my arms up above my head. Or in front of me, like a zombie kind of like. And what I do is resistance training, like a bird flapping its wings very slowly. Very slowly, I go up and I go down. I go up and I go down. And what happens is just hold your arms out in front of you for a minute and see how that feels. So what's happening, instead of the joints and things, the bones moving back and forth, it's very slow motion. It's isolating. I can turn my thumbs up, down, my hands, and I can actually feel different muscles being worked. Right? Because I've slowed shit down, I can notice these fucking things. So by resistance training, it's a lot less painful, and I think it gets a hell of a lot more done. And I really am inspired by this one guy on TikTok. He's I don't know, I don't want to get in trouble here. Like, he looks Asian to me. If that's bad, I don't know if is Asian still acceptable. Please comment below. Let me know if I'm being racist. I don't know. But he's a really cool motherfucker, old dude, and he's fucking ripped as shit, man. I mean, ripped. There's not like even an ounce of fucking. If you grabbed his belly button and pulled it out, pulled on it and let it go, it'd sound like a rubber band, like snap. This motherfucker's just. But he does a lot of resistance training. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. So, I mean, this dude, he's probably like. I don't want to offend him. He'll probably come all the way on a fucking canoe from the islands and beat the shit out of me while running on the beach and then paddle back home. But he's probably in his 50s, maybe even like mid 50s or something. I don't know. He's got gray hair and shit, but the motherfucker is just ripped, and it looks really good. If I was going to listen to somebody, I'd be like, that motherfucker knows what he's doing. So yeah, resistance training, slowing your exercising down, and I think listening to each other. My kids, I'm starting to get that fucking problem again, and I don't fucking like it. And I think this happens to all of us in society. I notice a lot of people are so busy, are so gone doing their thing and they never really get to talk. That when they do get to talk, they want to spit everything out real quickly, right? And they're not listening to each other. Almost everywhere I go, like get-togethers and stuff like that, I always observe this. It's very, very important to me, right? I know, I'm that fucking weird guy that spends his time thinking about this shit, At least I'm not looking at half-naked chicks all the time and fucking puppy dogs fart, But I think it's a very powerful observation that we don't listen to each other. We don't experience each other. And I would like to speak from the heart, too, that when I practice this, shutting the fuck up and not waiting for my turn to speak, instead of just doing that, actually just look at the person. Sometimes I think it freaks people out, because you're just staring at them. They're just like, what the fuck? Why aren't you saying something? I'm like, I'm listening, But the majority of people, when you give them your full attention, they start to just fucking go off. They're just like, in a good way, they're just like, oh my God, very fascinating. If you don't say anything, someone will go off for half an hour and be like, this is the best conversation we've ever had. And you're like, I didn't even fucking say anything, But it's kind of a gift I look at. My children, they're telling me about something, and like halfway through it, all of a sudden my mind wanders off. That's fucking right. I got to get the trailer ready for the job shit, and I got to get the bearings done. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? What did your kid just say? Like, I'm sorry, what did you say, baby? That's a fucking problem, man. And that's not really cool at all. And it's not the way I want to fucking live. And there's so many aspects of this slow everything down that I look at that's probably very important. And I mean, I think it's one of the hugest things in life. That's today's inspiration. I was just looking at that like, I want to hear what my fucking kid has to fucking say without worrying about the fucking coming job and the shit I got to do. Besides the fact that, you know, when you're like me and you've got things like this podcast to do, you got to go sell some jobs. We got to get materials organized, priced out, get some more clients, get it, and start thinking about marketing. You know, what am I going to make for dinner for the family today? And, you know, what am I going to do meal plan for tomorrow? And you got all this shit. How can I make these things easier? There's so much fucking shit that we're spread out and we're running at everything, and it fucking sucks. And I think that we're missing out. Life is life, people. Life is fucking life. No matter how fast you go, time's still the fucking same. Right? You're born and one day we're going to die. I think that the faster we go and we don't slow things down, the quicker we're going to fucking die because we're wearing parts off. You know, it's not even funny. I can't even insert a joke into this shit. You know, but it is, man. When it comes to your kids, I feel awful to myself. I have very few regrets in my life, but that's one of them of like, man, slow it the fuck down. Shut up. Shut your brain off for a second. You know, focus on one thing at a time. As I was going to finish with, the whole ramble I just went off. Focus on one thing. Do it right. Do it with quality. Get it done and move and finish it. Start and complete shit. I got problems where I start a lot of stuff and I never really finish on some things, you know. So it's nice to have it done and it's off the records. It's off the books. The desk is cleared, right? But with my children, it's ongoing. And with people as well, as I say, when you go out and you quiet up and you listen to them and you actually see them and observe them, they feel it and they respond. And if we all did this to each other, we'd have way better relationships, not just with those around us, with our family members. I think with nature as well, you know, the animals, with plants and things. When you sit in nature for a long, long period of time, you start to feel the magic and the eeriness of it. It's like, what the fuck, dude? These fucking things are living. You know, the wind goes through and different trees, different leaves create different sounds. There's a symphony that goes on and then the water. Sit down and listen to water. You want to hallucinate? You don't even need drugs. Just sit down by a fucking stream and put all your attention on the water running over the rocks. Every once in a while, it'll start saying shit, it seems like. You know, I do. It's probably a hallucination. I don't think so. I like to pretend that it's actually nature speaking to me, but you'll hear like a bloop, gloop, later. You know, you're like, wait, what? And I mean, I swear, there's times where you sit there, it sounds like it said a word. You're like, what the fuck? If you don't freak yourself out and just lay there, it's a fucking river, dude, right? Just lay there and be open to the experience. It's pretty fucking cool, dude. It's kind of what I look at. We don't really need drugs and things like that, like crazy stuff. I mean, if you're out doing it, whatever. But there's many fascinations in life if you just slow down enough. And about yourself, the relationship with yourself, I think. That's probably the most detrimental and the most horrific thing is what I've noticed in myself. Like I said, there's 24 hours in a day, right? And days go by, and I look, I'm like, how close are we to our goals? What are we doing, you know? And we're getting really close. But what happened to that fucking time? You know, I'd like to say when I go on my mini retirements that the hustle is so fucking hard that when I get into it, I'm excited. I'm like, let's do this. And money starts fucking rolling in, and I'm like, yeah, let's go, buddy. Saddle up and ride this thing into the sunset. By the time 8 to 9 months passes, I'm like, I fucking want to kill myself, right? I've lost all my humanity. All of my fucking thoughts and heart and soul gets poured into this shit. And I'm like, fuck this. I'm fucking ready to quit, you know? And I see people on normal jobs like that all the fucking time. It sucks. I don't know why I'm laughing, but, you know, we slow the shit down. And when I do get away from it, it feels so fucking wonderful. But I think that there's an equilibrium that we need in life. Like I said, the magic and the luminescence of nature is all around us, and the luminescence of people, especially our children, to look in their eyes like, you know, I want to share something beautiful with you guys. Like my little daughter, my special needs, when she starts to talk, she gets all excited and she wants to, like, you know, go camping. She's like, next time we go camping, I want to get high heel shoes. And I'm like, high heel shoes camping? What the fuck is? But she just keeps going, and then I start telling her, well, what kind of high heels? It's like a way to develop speech for her. Is what I do is I keep asking questions, you know, And she's like, I'm like, leopard or zebra ones? She's like, no, brown. I'm like, well, light brown or dark brown? Okay, well, how high are the heels? And I'm like, well, where are we going to walk? And then you see the gear spinning, but that light in the face, not just the eyes. The eyes are like a fucking sun, but the look in the face of like, I want to do this. And the imagination has completely consumed them. They see nothing else but what's before them, and you looking at them. We see each other. One of the beautiful things in that movie Avatar, the blue fucking people, was besides making love with someone with a fucking tail. Can you imagine making Sahelu? You got a fucking tail? What you can do with that shit? You know? But anyways, it was beautiful. It was like their thing was, I see you. You know? I acknowledge you. I see who you are. And my kids, I think at that moment, when we share, when she's telling me something about what she wants to make or create or something, and I see her, it's just me and it's her. And the eyes is just what got me. There's an overwhelming, I can't explain it, a joy that comes out, and I just kiss her forehead and her head, and I'm just like, I love you so much, baby girl, you know. It's just to see that wonderment and to feed off of it and be receptive to it. And I'm just very frightened out. I'll stop rambling here, but I'm just very frightened that we're moving so fast. Technology's moving fast. Information and things everywhere so much that a lot of people are missing out on a lot of shit, right? A lot of your life, the relationship with yourself, and I said with all that. And I think today's message was super fucking powerful, at least for myself. I'd like to know from you. Comment, you know, there's a way to get a hold of me below. But I think it's probably one of the most important things we should remind ourselves on a daily basis in our lifetime to notice. And I think a lot of things will unfold, and I think quality of life. How could life not get better when we slow things down? So that's it, guys. I got to go hurry up and get my shit together. I always fuck everything up with a joke, huh? You kind of have to. I try not to take things too serious around here. But yeah, I'm going to go start getting my business, my home finished up, everything set up so I can get back to fucking the wheel. And, blessings, guys. Blessings. I hope this message reaches you guys well. So, you know what to do if you want to. Everything's down below. Go out there and have yourself a near-life experience. Don't lose your muchness. Carry on the fire. Human up, my friends. Live it, love it, own it, and bone it.